Thank you so much, you guys, for coming out. I just first and foremost just want to thank everybody who's involved. Carrie, the intern with Santikos, who's off in New Zealand now, party member, whitewater rafting, doing whatever people in New Zealand do, riding sheep. When I got the message from the email from Noah, I think I was just shocked. Well, before that, I got to give credit to my friend Brianna for seeing the contest in the beginning and saying, "Hey, like you should submit to this. Like this is like a great opportunity." I kind of sat on it for a couple days, and then I looked at it, and it was like your song has to be 5 minutes or less, and I immediately was like, "Oh, well, that narrows it down to like 2 songs." Like, all my songs are like over 6-7 minutes. I tend to write long songs, but I have this my album opener called Make Believe. It was just under 5 minutes, and I thought it was perfect for it. I liked the lyrical content, and I felt like it had the potential to tell a cool story. I didn't know what that story was going to be, but the one thing I did know when I got the email from Noah saying, "Hey, like we want your song. You're one of 10 musicians that are going to get a free music video," I was like, first of all, it was amazing. I feel like I already won. Like I'm getting a free music video, and everybody who got that video, like that we shared that experience at the Palladium. It was just unreal being in a room with so much talent and just being a part of history in San Antonio. Like I've never, like Black Market was saying, like I've never seen this happen in San Antonio. And so it's just epic to be part of this inaugural process. But when I got that email from Noah, he was like, "If you know any filmmakers, reach out to them, tell them about this, because like we're gonna start picking filmmakers." And I was like, "Oh my God!" I was like, "Rod Guajardo, like you need to submit for this right now." I actually had known Rod for 7 years. I met him at an open mic, and we actually did a music video back 7 years ago, and it was his very first film project that he had done, and it was my very first film project that we had ever done. So we actually did a little bit of history there. We made this video, and it was really cool, and then we just kind of fell off the map, and we kept talking, and like, we need to do another project together here and there, like, and just nothing ever happened until this, and I couldn't be more thrilled that I got paired up with Rod, and like you were saying, we all got paired up with directors that really honed in like on our sound, and I felt like that connection was there with Rod. Where to go from here? So when Adam asked me to come up here and talk, I tend to overanalyze a lot of stuff, and so I sat in front of the computer and literally wrote out like a whole like speech, like what I was going to talk about and everything, and then it was like 2.5 pages, and I sat there and I read it out loud, and I was timing myself, and I was like, "This is so ridiculous!" Like, and I just deleted it. I just deleted everything. I was like, "This is just." And I was like, "I'm just like gonna go with." I even actually wrote bullet points in my pocket. Yeah, time to look at it. But anyways, I started thinking about like what success like means to me. Like, we all start somewhere. We as musicians, like there's a first time like you pick up a guitar, or the first time you sing in a car. You're inspired by something, but there's this journey that you go on to get to where you are and today. And you're working towards honing in on your craft and getting better at what you do, and you're working on getting better quality materials, videos, and audio stuff to get out there into the world for people to hear you and take you seriously. But before you do that, you gotta take yourself seriously, and you gotta be disciplined, and you've gotta work really hard at getting yourself there. It takes a lot of practice. When I first got into looping, my name's Josh Glenn. I'm in a one-man folk band called the Josh Glenn Experiment. I should have started with that.
It was on the typed out paper, right?
It was on the paper. I should have looked. Yeah. Man, I'm all over the place now. I got into looping about 7 or 8 years ago, maybe 8 or 9 years ago, after seeing another local musician use a looping pedal. And I was just inspired, and I knew I needed to get one and start. I just locked myself in my room and just started practicing, getting my rhythm down, like everything. Like I feel like it's just rhythm is like what drives me. Like with the vocals, like it doesn't matter like what, the music just kind of fuels you, and and there's something special, especially about playing in front of a live audience. Like there's this reciprocating energy that fills the room, and there's all of a sudden there's this like aura around you of this energy. You just feed off of that. And what I do with my music is I take like an idea, a couple little scraps of lyrics on a piece of paper, and I take all my favorite ones and compile them onto one sheet. And what I used to do when I first started looping is get this sheet of paper with all of my favorite little lyrics written down and just go and play at an open mic and just sing everything on the sheet of paper with this, this little riff that I'd come up with. When I ran out of lyrics, I would just improvise and just make, sometimes I would scat, sometimes I would just make stuff up, and that's where the experiment, part of Josh One experiment came from. I would just continue doing that, and over the years, these songs have kind of developed and evolved and become what they are now. I just released an album in December called Orange Moon, and all of the songs on that album are a culmination of this process that I've developed over the last 7 years. And one of the songs, the album opener, is Make Believe, which was one of my favorite songs on the album. Not only just because it's got some cool, little guitar riffs and everything, but the guy I worked with, produced it, Brent Senke, he just did an amazing job with it. And just to have this opportunity to make this music video and see the song kind of come to life and have the story be told, the song, it means so much more to me now, having gone through this whole process and spending this time out in Marfa with Rod. I want to go ahead and play it, and then I'll talk more about the actual process of what it was like going out there and filming, and just that whole process, if that's cool with y'all. Thanks. What's the
Again. One more time.
Yeah, so it was an amazing experience making this video with Rod. We headed out there. We headed out to Marfa first. We were there for 3 days, and we did all the shots inside the Lost Horse Saloon. I don't know if any of you guys have played out there in Marfa. It's a really, really cool little bar. Not a whole lot of people out there, but that night there were a lot of people out there. It was Memorial Day weekend, so we were out there on a Sunday night, and we called them the week before. Rod had called and was like, "Hey, we're filming this music video. Can we come out there and play an early show?" They're like, "We already have somebody playing, but if it's early enough, you guys can come out here and play this, no problem." So we got out there around 6 o'clock, got everything set up, got all the lights, and I played Make Believe. That's why I was asking you guys how many times y'all had to play the song, and you guys said you just played it once and just synced it up. We played it. I had a 45-minute set, and I played Make Believe 5 times. So people in the bar were like, "Who is this guy? Doesn't know anything but this one song." But we explained to them that, "Hey, we're doing this music video. You guys are all, you guys will be in it." So yeah, we did that. The first night, we did all the bar shots, me looking at the TV and everything. We had a visual effects guy plug in the stuff you see on the little TV. And that TV is kind of meant to be a metaphor for the news and how we get addicted to seeing, just wanting to look at our phone or look at TV and just we get distracted by it and absorbed by it. So it was kind of haunting me throughout the video. There was a scene that I really wanted in it, and I remember being really upset, in one of the last days before we were submitting. There was a scene where I'm playing out in the desert, and I just go up and I just kick that TV like off the stand. I felt so good about it. It was just like it comes to fruition. Like that TV's haunting me throughout the whole video, and I just get to like destroy it. We're trying to think of different ways to like destroy it, like throw it off a cliff. They're like, nah, it's too cliche. For it, we did like the Office Spaces. We just like crush it like with a bat, like stomp on it. We're like, nah, we can't do that. Thought about actually like mailing it, like having somebody, like we actually box it up, and then like UPS comes and picks it up, and then just like it takes it to an address, like which is actually the edge of a cliff, and like just drops it off a cliff. Like I had that idea. He's like, how are we gonna do that? Like we don't have a UPS uniform. I had these crazy ideas. Like another crazy idea I had, like I knew I wanted to do something with newspaper because it also fit the theme of media and news and trying to that element of it's kind of haunting me. I'm trying to get away from that. That's why I'm going out, taking the train, like in my backpack, and going on an adventure to get away from it all. So I want a newspaper to be in there to kind of haunt me, and initially had this idea to have everybody on the train have paper airplanes with newspapers, and then just throw them all at the same time and do a slow motion scene with me like walking down the middle of the train. I just thought in my mind, I was like, it's brilliant, it's gonna be amazing. Ron was like, how are you gonna get people on a train? Like, people are gonna be asleep at 7 o'clock in the morning, like no one. And I was like, just ask. Like, his whole approach. I was paired up with Ron Pardo. His whole approach was to be like guerrilla style. Like, we're not gonna tell anybody what we're doing. We're just gonna go do it. And so the paper airplane idea. I had another idea where there was like a robber like on the train. He was like robbing everybody, and he had like a newspaper gun that like shot like a newspaper like bullet, and he was like, crazy, like we're not gonna be able to do that, like. And so I was like, okay. I was like, well, what if we do like I'll make an origami flower, and like I'm on the train, I'm making this origami flower, and then it follows me throughout the story. I'm just keeping it in my pocket, and then I was like, what if we like actually give it to myself at the end, and I'll like cut my hair and I'll just shave my beard. And he was like, I like that. It's like, we can do that. And so that's what we settled with. And sometimes, the moral of that is sometimes simple is better. We even had a scene where I had the flower and I planted it in the desert, and I wanted to have a scene where there was this whole thing while we were out there in Marfa. I kept saying like, what if we did this, or like, what if? And every time it got to a point where I'd say, what if? And they'd just be like, oh my God, Josh, stop it. Like, what is it this time? But this other idea I had, I was like, what if we, and we did film this next part. It didn't make it into the film, but I wanted to have a scene like where I actually go into a shop and buy like a magic seed of some sort, and then I take that seed and I plant it in the desert, and then all of a sudden this paper flower, it starts to grow out of the desert. We didn't do the scene with me in like the shop buying a magic seed, but we just got a scene of me like kind of digging a hole and then planting one of those origami flowers, and then showing a scene later where the flower, I made a bigger origami flower, and then just showing that the flowers growing in the desert. And he's like, it doesn't fit with the story, it doesn't make sense. Like, if there's any moment in the video where it's like, what is this? Like, it doesn't fit. So he did a really good job of keeping everything simple, kind of saying like, that's a cool idea, but this is what we're gonna do. We stayed up really late the first night we were there. We were up until 3 o'clock in the morning, watching footage from the Lost Horse Saloon live stuff, and we had to get up at 6:30 the next morning. We got up at 8 o'clock. I barely slept. We spent the entire second day, I'm pretty sure I had like 45 minutes of sleep. I was running on pure adrenaline. We did a lot of shots out in the middle of the desert. A lot of the drone shots you see me walking along the street with the shadow following my every move. probably did enough shots to shoot 3 music videos. The guy that went out there with us, the lighting specialist, Ralph Lopez, he was ready to go home after the first night. He was like, dude, we got it. He's like, we got everything we need. Like, let's go home now. And we were just like, we got to tell the story. So come to the water tank scene, which was the most terrifying thing that we did while I was out there. Rod had explained to me that he told me that it was like 100 feet high. There's no, like, you gotta like, the top is like this thin, and that there's no ladder on the inside. It's like, but if you want to do it, like, you can go up there and see if you're comfortable doing it. And so it basically like terrified me by describing this like water tower to me. And then we got there, we saw the water tower, and I was like, that doesn't look too bad. It was more like 50 feet high. I climbed up there, and I looked on the inside, and sure enough, there was a ladder on the inside. So I was like, I think I might be able to do this. There's a little, like a metal rod that was kind of like extending over the water too. So I was able to actually get in the water safely, and getting out was the part that I was worried about. So when I got out of the water, I kind of situated myself on top of this metal rod that was extending over the water, so that if I fell, I would just fall right back in the water. But it took me about 25-30 minutes to get down, because I just wanted to make sure that every part of my body was dry on the way down, because that ladder was really rickety. Yeah.
How did y'all coordinate the drone and make sure that you got the right shot of it?
I was in the water for 10 minutes. And the whole time, my mind was going to these places like, oh my God, like, because there's like, right before I go into the water, there's that spot like where the water's dripping out of the faucet, and I'm splashing water on my face. In my mind, I'm laying in the water, I'm like, that thing's gonna bust, and there's gonna be a huge whirlpool, and I'm gonna get sucked down at the bottom of this thing. Like, that was one thing that I thought of when I was in there. And another thing was like, oh my God, this is where everybody in the county puts their dead bodies. They put them at the bottom of this well, and some zombie corpse is gonna grab me and pull me under. Like, just like these really irrational thoughts. Like, and then I just have to get myself in a happy place, and just every now and again I just like spread my arms out and just kind of fling out and smile and yell in the air. And we just got really lucky that he got a drone shot that was just perfect and captured that moment. Yeah.
So when we did the screening at Santico's and part of the Q&A, you said that one of your biggest fears was that whole scene about the water well and how if there wasn't a staircase inside to get out, that you weren't going to do it. So was that your fear, was the fact that you wouldn't be able to get out?
That was my fear, not being able to get out. Yeah, because I knew I could get up there and get in, but I didn't want to, because if there was no ladder on the inside, I would have had to like push myself out like you would getting out of a pool. Except there's like
Tons of pressure.
This much like of space on the outer rim of the well. And so really there's not anywhere you have to, a gust of wind comes by and you're falling doing that. Like Martin Club's video. There was a truck, as I was getting out, there was a truck that stopped by and was watching the whole process of me getting down. And in my mind, I was just hoping that they just had 911 like already programmed in their phone, like they're just ready to call in case I fell. And hopefully they'll like call my mom right away. So. But yeah, so that was definitely like one of the scariest moments. Yeah, we were out there for 3 days. We came back, and it was a week later that we did the shot of, the business suit, clean shaven, me at Sunset Station. We got there super early. We got into a little bit of trouble getting off the train. We bought a ticket to go to San Marcos, and we told ourselves if we get stuck on the train to San Marcos, like we'll just try and get one of our friends to go and pick us up. Really didn't want to do that. We just wanted to get our shots and get off. So we got on the train, we sat down, we did, the shots. It was a bunch of, typing, and then it got to the point he was like, all right, now lift your head up, and I kept doing it too fast. He's like, all right, slower. I'm like, all right, slower, and then it's like, did that like 10 times, and then like on the 10th time, like we heard like the train like whistle, and it starts moving, and we're like, oh shit, we gotta get out of here, and we couldn't find anybody, like an attendant on the train. Like I ran down, like it was moving really, really slow, but we need to get off. Like we need to get off. We gotta change the plans. Like we gotta. He was like, "What's like why? Like what?" We were like, we gotta get off. Like something came up. We gotta leave. We didn't know what to say. We didn't have an excuse prepared. And so he goes on the intercom and he's like, forget what he says. He's like, we need to stop the train. Like passengers need to get off. And so they had this. It took about a couple minutes for them to stop the train. We got off, and then these officials come up and they started interrogating us, like, what's going on? Like, why do you guys need to get off the train? We were like, oh, we had a film project. We were on our way to St. Marcus for this film project, and Rod just played it off. He was like, I got a call from work, like, I got a client I gotta go meet right now. Like, it's just an emergency. Like, we had to get off. Like, and they just kept asking, like, so like, what film project? Like, what's this about? And he's like, oh, it's just a student project. It's for for class. And and just after about 5 or 6 minutes, they were just like, get the hell out of here! Like, what are you like holding up the train? And so little we almost got stuck on the train in St. Marcus there, but yeah. So that was the only other thing. Yeah.
So did you have a bunch of destinations already like picked out? You and Rod already like mapped out some locations, or?
Yeah. So Rod has family out in. He's got a family ranch. His wife has a ranch, Los Alamos Ranch. We shot a lot of scenes out there, and he had already been out there with his family and done some like drone like footage just with his family and stuff. Yeah, so he had scouted out. He already knew where the water tower was, and he already had that kind of in the back of his mind. And he was like already trying to pitch it to me, and I was like, I don't know. It's like I told him I was just like, I'll have to wait and see. But yeah, he had all the places scouted out. We had a friend of Rod's family drive us from Alpine to Sanderson to catch that train. And it was kind of a good thing that train was late, because we got a lot of really cool shots in Sanderson, which does a lot of like cool, like dilapidated buildings and stuff. There's that scene where I'm walking in front of the firehouse, and there's like a cat that kind of scurries on, like, and then I'm kind of like looking in the window or looking in the doorway of this like old dilapidated building and stuff. So we got some cool shots out there. But yeah, he already knew. He kind of had it mapped out in his head, like where we're going to go. We were a little worried though that we weren't encapsulating like San Antonio. Like, I'll admit, like the very first video I saw Mia, her video, and I was like, shit. I was like, dang, that's good. And then I saw Black Market video, and I was like, oh man, these are so good. Like all the videos, seriously, like were so amazing, and I feel like I'm just so proud of our city coming together and creating this event. Like I just couldn't be more humbled by being in the same room with all you guys and just experiencing this with y'all. And I hope to see it grow, and I want to see more bands get exposure with this, and I really want to see more collaboration within our community, not just with film and music, but with musicians and other musicians. One of my personal goals is to actually reach out to some of the hip-hop scene in San Antonio. So what I do is a lot of beat-based boom stuff, and I really want to work with some of the hip-hop venues and